All right, everybody. I'd like to do sort of a video series. It's going to be pretty short on designing a home page. And it's not really the full extent of it, but just one method of creating a home page. And we're going to go from a page that looks like this to a page that looks like this. Okay. And so what we're going to do is the home page, let's talk about the general purpose of a home page, is to sort of highlight and tease out what's on the website. And there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. One way is just, like I said, tease out the content. We know we have a home page and we got 3 other sections, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So what we'll do is put some headers that title each of the pages. We could make those links. We've got the navbar here, but it doesn't hurt to have these things as links as well. A lot of times if you see an image, you think it may be a link. So we might make these images links. Then we're going to have just a little bit of information about the page and then a link to it, which if there's time, I'll style it as a button, okay, which I haven't done on this one yet. And so we're just going to basically, I want you to just get an excerpt from each page. If you look at this paragraph here, you'll see it's the first paragraph of that page. So basically, I just copied that HTML of the first paragraph, and then I put it right under the image, okay? So let's take a look at the structure we're going to do, and then I'll code it out. So the structure, let me back up a little bit. In order to do our 3-column layout, and by the way, the 3-column, we're going to make it responsive as well. In order to make it 3-column, we need a parent container, so I'm creating a section. And in that section, we're going to create some divs with a class of call3. These could be divs or they could be articles. We're going to target just by class, so it doesn't really matter whether it's a div or an article. Either one actually would make great sense, okay? And so we're going to do 3 of them to create the 3-column, and that's because we have 3 pages in addition to the home page. And of course, the technique we're going to do on this 3-column layout, you could apply to a 2-column or a 4-column if you want, using some of the same styles. So without further ado, let's code out the page. Before I go any further, I need to do an Atom Editor shout out. The Atom Editor is amazing. If you go to atom.io, download it to your device. It works on Windows, it works on Mac. I believe it even works on Linux. So this is the new default text editor that I use, and you'll see why in a moment. So you can download it, and then I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So in order to open this up, I have it open in the folder, and one of the things you can do is you can open Atom, and you can just drag your index page and just drop it on there, and then I'm just going to add to this window discard state. And all that just means is discard what it looked like before. I don't care what it looked like before because this is what I want to work with. You'll notice by dragging it over, I've got the folder up here, any subfolders in here, and you can see that it's highlighted here because I'm working on index. So like I said, we're going to create a section, and inside we're going to create some divs. So let's do that. Now watch how I do this in the Atom Editor. So I go over here, I click on the window, and I type out SEC, and it already highlights section. All I have to do is hit enter. There I have it. And then I'm going to give this a class of showcase because that's what I'm doing. I needed to think of a title for this. And the idea of a showcase is going to allow me to do some like multi-columns, and we're going to actually apply the Flexbox to this, so to help our styling because Flexbox is pretty awesome. And we can create divs or articles. I'm going to mix it up and make an article, make this embrace my HTML5. Notice I start typing out article. It even gives me the article, gives me a class. I was going to put 3col, but then I remembered you can't put a class that begins with a number. It's got to start with text. So I'll put call3. It kind of like the Bootstrap. You'll see there's some Bootstrap ones on here called MD3. I'm not going to do that today because I'm not doing Bootstrap. And so you see how easy that was. So in the article, we're going to create a header 2. I just type out H2, and then we're going to put that in. We're going to do a figure for our image. and it's going to have an image. And after the image, we're going to add a fig caption. Put a caption under that image. And after the figure, we're going to add our paragraph. And that's our HTML for one article in that showcase. So before I even put my content in, I'm just going to copy all this and paste it. Actually, I'll just paste it for time's sake. Oops, wrong. Forgot to copy, apparently. Paste, paste. So at this point, we have 3 of these articles. I'm going to collapse the remaining ones so we can just focus on one. And the idea here is each article is teasing out the content of the page before. So the first one goes with the first link. You should keep it in the same order of your nav bar so everything is consistent. So I'm just going to copy right out of there. In fact, let's go it one step further. I'm going to copy the link as well. I will make that header a link. And so it's inside the header too. I already have a header too. So now I know this works. And this link could work around my image as well. So why not just redo that? So I'm going to copy this. Inside my image, I have a link. I'm going to close the link there after the image. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. Let me pause for just a second. Before I actually do the image, I want to just go over one little thing here. We're going to find an image, and I just want to point out one main thing about it, and that is for this to look its best, I highly recommend all of your images be the same width and the same height. Now, the width could vary here in this 3-column. As you can see, there's room on here. I try to keep my images relatively small. In fact, each of these images are 150 pixels by 150 pixels. Okay, so this is what it looks like on standard zoom on my Chrome browser. So I recommend you go find pictures, and you either find them the same width and height, which is kind of hard to do. So it's probably better that in your images, what you do is you just edit them afterward. Find ones that are relatively the same general dimensions. In this case, these are sort of portrait style. However, when I found the images, they had wide margins, so they actually were all square images, and they all came from the same general source, which is basically these two are the official logos for HTML and CSS, and I don't know if this is for JavaScript or not. I do know that this was created later. And so I don't know if it's official or not. I just got the logo and I had a link to it. Okay, so let's go back. I want you to just kind of focus on the code that we're doing here. And then once you have your image, if you don't have an image folder, I highly recommend you create one. So I'm actually going to create it right out of this project. So in the Atom editor, I can just right-click on a folder and select New Folder. And then I can type out images. And now I have an images folder. So now I have to go find images, and I want to drop them into that folder. The other thing is if I right-click on any folder, I can choose Show and Explore. So from Atom, I can go right to the folder. And there it is. So if you notice here, I have no images in my images folder. So I'm going to need to add. So at this point, I've included all my images. If you can open the folder, you can see that they're all right here. One of the things I'm beginning to do more and more is on the SRC for the image is, remember the first one is the HTML. So I want to find the image that has the HTML logo. There it is. And I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to get the project path. So I'm going to copy project path. That is the path to this file from this website project. That's what you want. It's a relative link. So I go back to the index page, and on the image tag, which is right here, the source, I'm going to go ahead and close this part of the view. And it's right up here. I'm going to paste that project path right there. There it is. I do recommend you change the backslash to a /. Some things are finicky that way. They don't like it. But that's how you can do it. Alt, just put HTML5 logo. And then on here, you can just put that right there if you want. Okay, so there's the figure. I'm going to open up the HTML page to grab the first paragraph. So I just double click on here in the Atom editor, find my first paragraph. I'm just going to grab the content from it. I'm going to go back to the index page, and I'm going to paste it right there. And so there's my HTML. Let's go ahead and save it, and then let's launch it. The other thing is if you install Open in browsers, I'll show you where you can find that. I can actually, just down at the bottom here, I can click on the little green Chrome icon, and it opens it in there. So this is what the first part looks like, the HTML. And there's my content. Now, the link is optional because you do have a nav bar, and it will be so close to the nav bar. I never feel like having extra links hurts, okay, if you have a link to it. Now, I certainly wouldn't have this link go somewhere else. If I click on the image, remember I made that a link, so I click it, and it goes there. Again, if it looks like it's an icon, or if it looks like it could be a button, make it a button. It's better than having the user try to click it and then be annoyed because it doesn't work. So that's just a usability thing. It's not like, you know, it's not going to make or break your career or anything like it. But it is something worth thinking about and making that decision. So we go back here, and now we just have to repeat it for the remaining ones. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of everything that I did before. I'm just going to copy that right out of here. So I copy it, paste it into my header 2 on the next one. Remembering I'm doing it in the same order. And then I'm also going to surround the image with the hyperlink. Oh, I could have just done it the other way. Huh. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to paste that, and I'm going to replace the word CSS with that. And we have it there. And then we get the path, project path, put it in the SRC. Switch the backslash to a /, and then it's CSS 3 logo. And then I'm just going to copy the alt for now and just put it in the fig caption. And then I'm just going to go ahead and open up the CSS, grab the content from the first one. Actually, I'm probably not going to do all of it. I'm just going to grab the first couple of sentences. I'm going to copy that, paste it in the paragraph. I highly recommend you add some like strong tags to surround keywords like CSS. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did here for my final one. And after I'm done, my final column looks like this. Now, we're pretty low on time, so in the next video, I'll actually go over all of the styling for how we do this. So we're going to style this thing so that we can have sort of that 3-column layout. But then on mobile devices, we'll collapse them so they're all single column. So stay tuned for that video.